Hello there. So today's topic is interior of skull. As you can see, this is the frontal aspect of the skull, the lateral aspect, and we'll be starting with the interior of the skull. So I'm opening the skull cap, and this is what an interior of the skull looks like. As you can see, this is the foramen magnum, and we have few structures. I'll be telling about them in detail. The interior of the skull is divided into three parts: the anterior cranial fossa, the middle cranial fossa, and the posterior cranial fossa. So the anterior cranial fossa has these boundaries. It is bounded by the frontal bone and the lesser wing of the sphenoid bone. Then comes the middle cranial fossa, which is between the lesser wing of the sphenoid bone and this petrous part of the temporal bone. And then comes the posterior part of the cranial fossa. So starting with the anterior cranial fossa. Anterior cranial fossa has certain structures. As you can see, this is known as the frontal crest. This is the frontal crest formed by the frontal bone. This is called the crista galli, or the rooster's crown, and it has bilaterally to it cribriform fossa and the cribriform plate. These are small foramina. As you can see, the frontal crest ends and the crista galli starts at this point. There is a foramen known as the foramen cecum. Alright, so we have frontal crest, foramen cecum, crista galli, cribriform plate with two foramen at the beginning and two foramen at the end, known as the anterior ethmoidal foramina and the posterior ethmoidal foramina. Frontal crest, foramen cecum, crista galli, posterior ethmoidal foramen, and the cribriform plate. Now, what does the anterior cranial fossa separate the brain from? From the orbit, that is, this orbit is separated from the brain by the orbital plate bilaterally. This is the lesser wing of sphenoid bone. This is the lesser wing of sphenoid bone, and it ends at these two pointed tooth-like projections known as the anterior clinoid processes. So the body of the sphenoid presents the following. Firstly, the sulcus chiasmaticus, or the optic groove, which leads on each side to the optic canal. Alright, this is the optic canal and the sulcus chiasmaticus. Then we have the sella turcica, or the pituitary fossa, also known as the hypophyseal fossa. Now it consists of tuberculum sellae in front. This is the tuberculum sellae in front, sella turcica, and it has the dorsum sellae behind. This part is known as the dorsum sellae behind. So it's almost like a Turkish saddle, that is sella turcica. It has a hump in front and hump in behind. So this hump in front, what it does, it separates the optic groove from the hypophyseal fossa. So this is the hypophyseal fossa separated from the optic groove by the tuberculum sellae, and this hypophyseal fossa lodges the hypophysis cerebri, and beneath this, the floor of the fossa, lies the sphenoidal air sinuses. Alright. Now the dorsum sellae is a transverse plate. This is the dorsum sellae, which is a transverse plate of bone projecting upwards, and it forms the back of the saddle. So if you can imagine, there is a two-humped camel. So the place where you sit is the sella turcica, the back seating or the cover of the chair is your dorsum sellae, and the tuberculum sellae is the one that you hold. And we have, the structures are broken here, but ideally there would be an anterior clinoid processes. The tuberculum sellae would join here with the middle clinoid processes, and the dorsum sellae would have posterior clinoid processes. Those two hook-like structures coming and joining each other. So this was about the central part of the. I just wanted to show the structures from lateral view. As you can see, this is your anterior clinoid process. Let me focus it a bit. Yeah. So this is the anterior clinoid process. This would be your tuberculum sellae. This pit, small pit, is your sella turcica, and this would be your dorsum sellae. Now, if just imagine these two tooth-like structures coming anteriorly, anterior clinoid processes and middle clinoid process. This is the middle clinoid process. This is the anterior clinoid process. Similarly, from dorsum sellae, if there is a process going and reaching here, it would form the posterior clinoid process. So they will form hook-like structures bilaterally, like this one hook from front, and those two hooks from the side. So three hooks or tooth forming these structures. Now middle cranial fossa. Now talking laterally, we have three very important grooves. That is foramen rotundum, foramen ovale, and foramen spinosum. Again, foramen rotundum, foramen ovale, and foramen spinosum, both side. This is the superior orbital fissure. Superior orbital fissure. So again, I'll show you the structures. This is the optic canal opening here, right? Then we have the superior orbital fissure. It opens here in the orbit bilaterally, superior orbital fissure. Alright, optic canal once again. This is the optic canal, superior orbital fissure, and these three structures, that is the foramen rotundum, foramen ovale, and foramen spinosum. This constitutes the middle part of the cranial fossa.